final match between Georgia Tech and UC Davis. It's all gonna come down to this final solve. And just like that, UC Davis takes the whole thing. Berkeley shows San Diego they're not here to mess around. And Andrew takes that solve from Hamza. What a match. Welcome everyone back to the Collegiate Cubing Championships. We have a fantastic matchup for you guys tonight between the number 4 seeded UNC versus the number 5 seed University of Texas at Austin. I'm joined by the GOAT, Dylan Miller, and we're super stoked to have him on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me.
It's going to be a super duper exciting, super close matchup all across the board. Like we said, number 4 versus number 5. And Dylan, I know you might be a little bit biased, but what are your thoughts on the matchup tonight?
Dude, I think it's as close as it can possibly get. I was looking at the stats a little bit beforehand, and I mean, even like in all 3 competitors, it's like pretty much like 0.2 off the whole way through. It's going to be a really, really exciting match. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, and I apologize for our technical difficulties. I know we're starting a little bit late, but I appreciate y'all hanging in there with us. Dylan, we want to get this match, started as soon as we can, and I believe you're going to be doing our coin toss for us tonight.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Oh. There you go.
Is that going to be heads or tails? I can't quite tell.
Yeah, it's
heads. Amazing. So that means number 4 UNC going to be getting this third quarterfinal matchup kicked off for us. It's going to be super close.
You're muted on Discord.
I think it's going to be a super close matchup, and we're super excited to get started. I apologize for all this technical difficulties we're having, but hopefully the rest of the match will be smooth. I think it's high time that we jump straight into this exciting quarterfinal matchup. Let's meet our first 2 competitors on the left side of your screen. For the University of North Carolina, we have Bhuvanesh on the WRM V10 with that 9:45 second average. On the right side of your screen for Texas, we have Azhar with that 8:94 second average. And I think we're going to be seeing this the whole matchup, 0.5 seconds just separating the 2 competitors apart here. Hold on, folks. If you can just bear with us for one more second. We'll just have a second to figure a couple of things out. Then we can get this match underway for you here in any second. All right, folks, looks like we're rocking and rolling. Bhuvanesh getting things kicked off here on the left side of the screen, going in with White Cross. See that official time. It's going to be a 7:14 for Bhuvanesh.
Yeah, man, looks like he got a really clean OLL skip here, and then looks like it was on pace to be a little bit quicker, but then had some lockups here on his PLL, but, you know, that's, given his average, like, that's a really respectable solve to start off with.
Yeah, and I mean, like we saw with the in the competitor introduction, Bhuvanesh, normally averaging around that 9:45, definitely starting off with a little bit of pressure on Azhar. I think Azhar has a bit of an edge on Bhuvanesh, but definitely he's making it tricky for him. So Azhar starting on a White Cross here. Going to PLL around 6 seconds. It's going to be 8:01 for Azhar.
Yeah, I think Azhar's going to be decently happy with the solve. Like, no real major problems. Just a little bit too long of a solution, but, you know, can't be too mad. Had some not too great cases, but turned clean throughout F2L. So, if I was him, I'd be pretty happy with that start.
Yeah, and Bhuvanesh taking that first point early on. I mean, Azhar I think he's going to have the biggest advantage for Texas in this whole matchup so far. I mean, I'm looking at some of the times going on in the rest of the matchup, and it's going to be getting closer and closer as this match goes on and on. So Azhar will be getting things kicked off for Texas on this second solve here any second now, but Bhuvanesh able to come out on top with the very first solve of this third quarterfinal matchup. Like Azhar looks like he's inspecting straight for white cross. He's going to put white down. It looks like that's what he's going in with. Going into PLL around 7 seconds, maybe a little bit faster than that. But it's going to be a 9-11 for Azhar, it looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit sloppier turning here from Azhar. Still didn't pause too much, but seems like the solution was a little too long. And like I said, his turning wasn't as clean as it was on that first solve. So if he wants to get that under wraps, that's going to be his key to taking the set.
Yeah, and it's not great for Azhar here or for the whole Texas squad to be starting off a little bit, a little bit slower than maybe they are sure they can solve. Because UNC number 4, Texas number 5, there's a little bit of an edge there, but Bhuvanesh going in with white cross as well. It looks like having some pauses and lots of hesitancy going into Olo around 7 seconds. He's going to have to be quick if he wants to beat that 9-11. He had 10-25 for Bhuvanesh, so Azhar takes that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of feel like Azhar might have gotten away from that one. Bhuvanesh definitely started off really good with that one, but that second pair transition, man, he got real stuck on that last 2 pairs. So then he got dot OLL, things just all fell apart from there. So tied up 1-1, man. This is good.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be seeing this throughout this whole matchup. And Dylan, one of the things we hear from our competitors is that they're not prepared for how nerve-wracking it is to be in front of the camera. And I think maybe that comes through in some of their times. We see competitors who we know should be solving a little bit faster and a little bit more cleanly, and sometimes they struggle. And you recently competed in front of the camera as well at PSL. Can you tell us what that was like at all?
Yeah, PSL was awesome, man. I mean, we're in front of a crowd too, so it's a crazy experience. But yeah, I mean, it definitely prepares you for some high stakes moments. It looks like Bhuvanesh cooking here.
Bhuvanesh secure a 744 for the UNC squad.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was just really clean, like nothing crazy. One thing I've noticed is it looks like neither of these competitors have gone for yellow on either of these solves. Last scramble had a really nice little line on yellow, and neither of them were able to take advantage. So we're on really level playing fields here.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed is that not too many of the CCC competitors are full color neutral. Most of them are dual color neutral or white only, and we still see great success like this. And Azhar following that trend up, going in with white cross again on excellent pace, but that looked to be quite a long PLL. And I think it's going to be an 894 for Azhar.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just seemed like way too many rotations here. Partially could be due to pair choice or solutions or what have you. But yeah, if you're gonna beat that 7.4, it's gonna take a little bit more than the amount of rotations Azhar had.
So Bhuvanesh now up on Azhar 2-1, asserting a lot of dominance here for the UNC squad. I'd be maybe a little bit nervous about our Texas, but there's still a lot of solves to come. And so we'll see what the Texas team is able to pull together. Azhar getting solve number 4 underway with white cross again. Square OLL going into PLL. Going to be an 827, it looks like, for Azhar.
Yeah, still a few too many pauses, but I mean, 827 is a pretty respectable solve here. Definitely could still take it, so, pretty good from him. A little bit cleaner than his last 2.
I think one of the trends we might be seeing here too is that being able to manage those nerves, and now I'm guilty of saying this a lot, but being able to manage those nerves means a lot, especially when your competitions are as close as these. I mean, just half a second separates these guys on average. So being able to, make sure you're under control, able to turn accurately and have the best solutions is important. Bhuvanesh going into PLL around 8 seconds. It's going to be close. Be a 9:43 for Bhuvanesh. So Azhar's able to get away with another solve.
Yeah, it looks like he was turning pretty good there, and then again, once he got to the later F12 pairs, had a little bit of trouble, and again with these dot OLs, man, not really helping out my man Bhuvanesh here. It's not great to get those types of cases.
Yeah, now Texas up two solves to UNC's 2 solves. So all tied up in the first set. Winning that first set is crucial in CCC. Gives your team lots of momentum, allows your other guys to relax a little bit. And Azhar should have a little bit of an edge on Bhuvanesh moving forward. But we'll see Bhuvanesh getting solve number 5 kicked off on White Cross as well. 6 seconds going by, still on F2L. Looks like 9 seconds still on F2L. Finally getting to OLL, finishing up PLL. And that's going to be a DNF at around 14 seconds.
Man, that's unfortunate to see from him there. Looks like he messed up cross earlier on. I saw there was the white-red cross edge in the F2L stage, something you don't normally see. So if Azhar can just put down a solved cube, that'll be all he really needs.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial. That'll put Texas at set point for that first set. So we'll see if Azhar is able to solve this cube here. They should be able to know that Bhuvanesh got that DNF and can chill out a little bit. But Azhar showing off with an 8:05. That looks to be maybe 8:85. It'll be 8:05 for Azhar.
Yeah, again, cleaner solve from Azhar here. Got some nice last layer cases, back soon, L perm. Those are really low move count, but we're really looking at the F2L here, and looked a lot cleaner than what we've seen previously. So gonna need to keep it up if he wants to take that set.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Azhar just one solve away from taking this first set. I personally think if you're solving first, you maybe have a little bit of an advantage, maybe a little bit less pressure. You get to just focus on solving the cube. But
Yeah,
we'll see what
definitely.
Azhar is able to pull off. Now, when Bhuvanesh had his cube pulled up, that red side looked pretty decent. But looks like Azhar's looking at White Cross here. That's what he's going to go with. Lock cleaner. Going into PLL around 5 seconds. Be a low 6. 688. So a bit of a high 6 for Azhar. Impressive solving.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is necessarily guaranteed here. I mean, looking at that white, it looked pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So, with good execution and good look ahead, Bhuvanesh could definitely still take this one.
Yeah, we'll see what Bhuvanesh is able to pull out. Looks like his camera may have been frozen for a little bit, but now he's back and he's ready to rock and roll. He's got a lock in here. Azhar with that 688. Gonna be tough for Bhuvanesh. Bhuvanesh still has to pull out a sub 7. He got that 714 as his very first solve, and he's holding that 474 PB single. So we know he can solve that fast, but he's certainly going to have to lock in here. Looks like Bhuvanesh is going with White Cross as well. Very smooth, but looks to be move heavy. Yeah, going into PLL around 8 seconds. Not going to be fast enough. 9:46 for Bhuvanesh. So Azhar takes that solve.
Yeah, shout out to my man Azhar. Seems like he just solved a little bit cleaner, but Bhuvanesh still had a really good performance here, aside from that unfortunate DNF. But got that 7-1 to start off. Yeah, just Azhar came out here just a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the means of these two guys. 8.2 for Azhar, 874 for Bhuvanesh. So came in, Azhar had about a half-second edge on Bhuvanesh, and that's what we see here. Just both times a little bit faster. Azhar 8.2. Wow. Impressive solving. And Dylan, I know maybe this was just a rumor, but maybe was there a little bit of private coaching that happened maybe for the Texas squad, and we're seeing their times improve a little bit here?
No,
Might
man, I
help
was
them out in this quarterfinal.
I was supposed to help them out, man. I got busy. I didn't able to
Oh,
get
okay.
around to get there, but I'm helping. I'm sending them positive vibes and spirit, and I'll say that's the reason why we got
Yeah,
Azhar here
there
with
we
that
go.
sub 7 on that last one.
Yeah, so Texas coming in with a little bit of extra camaraderie from Dylan Miller. That may be paying off here, but we're going into set number 2 on the left side of your screen. Zach for UNC, 864 average on the right side of your screen. Jeremy for Texas with the 837 average, so less than 3/10 of a second separate these guys, folks. It's going to get closer and closer as the number of sets dwindle down.
Uh, from what I know about Jeremy and Zachary, I know they're both capable of really high level solving. I think Zach has sub 7 official. I think Jeremy has somewhere around there too. So could see some crazy times here, man, if they can manage to handle their nerves.
Yeah, and both competitors looking to just take a little bit of an edge on the other guy. I mean, when you're at 3/10 of a second, we're talking, like one fewer lockups, a couple of moves more efficient in your solution. And some of those things come down to nerve management as well. It's going to come down to those little things like that. But Jeremy able to get things started for Texas since UNC started the match. Going into PLL around 4 seconds. It's going to be a fast one. 7:35 for Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy's like super trademarked, clean, smooth turning, not super bursty, but whenever he's solving really solid, his look head's good, he's gonna get some times like that.
Yeah, so Jeremy able to set the bar high for that first solve. Going to be tough for Zachary to beat. He's going to have to lock in quick. We'll see what Zachary's able to pull off. Looks like he's going in with yellow cross here. Some slower turning as well, but a little bit more pausing. It looks like it's going to be a quick solve as well. It's 7:64 for Zachary. So just by 3/10 of a second, Jeremy takes that first solve. Wow.
Yeah, you're seeing a difference in styles here, but you see Jeremy was a lot more slow paced in his approach, and then Zach here looks a little bit burstier, a few more pauses, but his raw turn speed's a little bit quicker, but times come pretty close either way, so
Yeah, so gonna come down to just those little things. And we'll see which competitor is able to master that better than the other one. So Zachary going to get solve number 2 started. Now Jeremy's coming in with a lot of momentum. Texas taking that first set. UNC still looking to put a set up on the board, and we'll see if we can get that here. Some pausing and rotations for Zach, and lockups in OLL, and a corner twist going into that J perm. It looked like it'd be a 967 for Zach.
unfortunate to see from Zach here. There was a really nice free pair on this scramble that he was able to take advantage of, but similar as Bhuvanesh in the last round, once he got to that third and fourth pair, just a few too many pauses for that point in F2L, and as we saw in that last layer, those lockups and then corner twists really cost them.
Yeah, and so I mean, UNC really got to be on top of their game here. They're still looking for that first set, and maybe they got a little too full themselves coming in as number 4. They got that first round bye, but Jeremy coming in hot. It looks like going into PLL around 5 seconds, but lockups gonna hurt him a little bit. 8:42, no question about it. Jeremy takes that second solve as well.
Yeah, that'll be good enough. Looks like Jeremy looked a little locky in his turning towards the end, but good enough to beat the 10 set forth in front of him, and that's all you really need right now.
Yeah, now Jeremy in a great position. His team up 1 set to no sets. Now he's up on Zach, 2 solves to no solves. So he's got plenty of momentum, and he's got plenty of camaraderie and good vibes from Dylan. So Jeremy in a fantastic place. And he's going to be getting solve number 3 kicked off here. We'll see if he can continue this fantastic solving. Like, he immediately goes to white cross here. I think that's what he's going to go with. This would be a little bit faster turning. Still a great solve, though. Some lockups going into PLL 8:24, so not a bad solve either way.
Not sure if I saw it right, but it looks like Jeremy may have done 5 pairs on that solve. It seems like he was ready to be done with F2L or something of the sort. But yeah, I mean 8.2 is really respectable. Hoping we can see some good solving from Zach as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough time for Zach to beat regardless. I mean, a little bit faster than his average, but still within his normal solving range. We'll see what Zach is able to do. He's going in with white cross. Really smooth F2L going into PLL around 5 seconds, and it's going to be close. 7-18 for Zach, so he takes a solve for himself and UNC by about a second here in solve number 3.
Yeah, Zach was just a little bit cleaner here. Didn't pause as much in the previous 2 solves, and no corner twist in his last layer there, and actually executed that GC perm really clean to finish off that 7-18.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's coming down to these little things, just those little lockups, those little better solutions to F2L pairs and little things like that make a huge difference when you're solving at this level. So now Zach looking to crawl back a little bit in set number 2. I remember if Texas wins this set, they'll win this whole matchup. We'll still play out set number 3 regardless. So Zach looking to keep UNC in this tournament, going in with yellow cross here. Going into PLL around 6 seconds. Lockup getting started. It's going to be an 882 for Zach.
Looks like Zach was able to take advantage of a free pair here on yellow, and then just unfortunately, solved pretty much to his standards in that F2L, and then just as he got to last layer, those lockups really cost him on those OLO and PLLs.
Yeah, and watching these competitors warm up a little bit, I think we can see some nerves starting to creep in. They know the pressure. They know what's at stake in this crucial set number 2 here. And so far, I think both have done a pretty decent job at keeping them under control. But as we continue through this set, they're going to get worse and worse. But Jeremy going in with yellow cross, going into PLL around 5 seconds. 7-12 for Jeremy, so he takes another solve by about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, and that's when Jeremy's done his best solving, like that solve right there. Just super clean and controlled, predicted a good first pair, and then was able to follow it up with the rest of the F2L, and, fortunately, nice OLO case and then good PLL execution. Gotta be happy to see that from him.
Yeah, now Zach in a terrible position here. Jeremy's got him pinned up against the wall. 3 solves. It's set point for Jeremy now. And he gets to solve first, going into solve number 5. So I think it's going to be tough for Zach here. A lot is on the line. I mean, if Jeremy takes this solve, he wins this set and wins this matchup, upsetting UNC. So a lot rests on how Zach is able to solve, and we'll see if Jeremy is able to solve really well here and pretty much all but clinch Texas's victory here. Jeremy going in with yellow cross. Looks to be a little bit a rougher solve getting started off, but I can't say too much. It's going to be an 863 for Jeremy.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can see him holding that stack mat there. His hands are a little shaky, Jeremy, I'm sure, really wants to solve well here, but just turning was a little bit too rough on that solve. We want to see that nice, crisp, controlled turning from him to see his best times.
Yeah, and I mean, an 863, that's going to be a toss-up here. You really can't predict what kind of solve. I mean, Zach can absolutely take a solve here, but Zach going into PLL around 4 seconds. A 626 from Zach, so he firmly takes control of solve number 5 and takes that solve by over 2 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like they did a pretty similar start here, but that's what happens for Zach whenever his look ahead's on point, and really nice OLL PLL execution. That A perm, one of the best PLLs, and yeah, just super clean solve from him all through and through.
Yeah, so Zach keeping UNC in this matchup. Jeremy still 3 solves. Zach now up 2 solves, and Zach coming off a 626, going to be taking the charge going into solve number 6 here. So he's looking to assert a little bit of dominance here. Jeremy's been solving pretty good, but we see nerves maybe starting to creep into Jeremy solving a little bit. So Zach, if he's able to stay on point, stay on top of things, and like you said, Dylan, stay on top of his look ahead especially, he can put up some times that are going to be tough for Jeremy to beat. Zach, maybe some issues. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It'd be an 818 878 for Zach in solve number 6.
Yeah, looks like he found a pretty decent solution to start. Clean X cross in the back, but then just few too many lockups and pauses, and unfortunately ends up with that 8-7. But like you said, this is a toss up here. It's Still not guaranteed for Jeremy if he doesn't get those nerves under control.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen fantastic solving from Jeremy so far. In fact, all of his solves this set have been under 878. But, you can definitely see Jeremy feeling the pressure of this solve in this set. So we'll see if he's able to keep that under control. Getting started off much slower turning, much more controlled, finishing OLL at 4 seconds. I think there's no question about it. 6:59 for Jeremy, and he caps off set number 2 for a Texas W.
Yeah, you see him make that same type of X cross you saw Zach do, but just followed up a little bit cleaner. Really nice F double sexy OLL into U perm. That's really nice to see when you're on that type of pace. So great to see from Jeremy there.
Yeah, and I mean, a super close matchup. I mean, Texas able to take those first 2 sets and win this matchup. Now, we will be playing out the third matchup because we're excited to see all of our competitors compete. But Texas upsetting UNC right here and putting on a fantastic performance. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, Jeremy, 772 mean. Zach, 806, just 0.3 of a second. We can see that back and forth every solve here from both competitors. I mean, just a really, really fantastic, really, really close set. But Texas able to eke out the win over UNC Chapel Hill. And I mean, these sets are going on for quite a few solves. And so UNC able to put up a good fight, but they didn't stand a chance against the might of Texas. So let's jump straight into set number 3. I think this may be our closest set so far. Yeah, on the left side of your screen for UNC, Kerry, 808 second average. On the right side of your screen for Texas, we have Jason with the 830 second average. Yeah, just, what is that? 0.22 seconds or something. I'm not that good at math, separating the two competitors here. So another super close set.
I'm excited to see both these competitors. I know they've got some really good solves they're capable of, so hoping they can put on a show right here in this fun little set.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the pressure is off now. Not a whole lot rides on this set other than maybe personal glory. So hopefully we'll see some really fantastic solving from both competitors. I mean, Kerry probably looking to keep a little bit of dignity for UNC here. I don't think they haven't lost too many solves as a team, but they just lost this match to Texas. So probably looking to regain a little bit of that honor and glory. But Kerry starting off pretty strong. It looks like with an 852 for UNC.
Yeah, pretty all right solve from Kerry. Had a nice little U from at the end there, so we'll see how Jason can respond.
Yeah, Jason immediately going to white cross there. Taking his time on inspection. Probably a good sign. Jason going in with white cross. Going into PLL around 5 seconds. Be a 785 for Jason, so he's able to take that first solve by just a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, Jason kind of showing shades of Jeremy here. Really clean, controlled turning, super precise and accurate, and executed that R2F2 GC really, really cleanly. And yeah, really nice start as well.
Yeah, so Jason able to put some points up on the board for Texas early. And things not shaping out too well for the UNC squad. Hopefully they're able to get back up on top of things. Jason going in with white cross. Lockups in F2L. Doesn't phase him too much. It's going to be a rough solve. 963 for Jason.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like second pair choice wasn't the greatest. Had a free pair, ended up going for another pair and broke up that free pair. And then by the time he got through those lockups and got to A-perm, he had a little struggle executing those D2s there. So ends up with that 9.6.
Yeah, so this should be a pretty easy solve for Kerry to take here. To finally get something going for UNC. But Kerry going in with yellow cross, I think was different from Jason. They're going into PLL around 5 seconds. It'll be a 729 for Kerry, so he's able to take that solve by about 2 seconds.
Yeah, a lot cleaner from Kerry here. Really nice transition from the inspected to non-inspected step, and then really like that edge control on that fourth pair there, setting up that COLL Z perm last layer. Really clean execution.
Yeah, so Kerry able to get a little bit of something going, maybe a little bit of momentum for UNC here. Looking to carry that through for the rest of the set and keep UNC up on the board, or put UNC up on the board, rather. So we'll see what Kerry is able to pull off for solve number 3 going in with white cross. Going into peel around 5 seconds. Going to be another great solve and a 669 from Kerry.
Yeah, really clean, efficient F2L from Kerry here. Got fat anti-soon U perm. Pretty much as good a situation you can ask for on his side.
Yeah, so things just keep getting better and better for Kerry. Jason, not quite the same story. We'll see what he's able to do in solve number 3 going in with white cross here. Looks like his turning speed has gotten much quicker, and it looks like that cross was not done correctly. It's going to cost him a lot of time here, and that's going to be a 13-23 from Jason. So Kerry takes that solve.
Yeah, unfortunate inspection error from Jason there. Just switching up those two cross edges adjacently swapped, and once that's kind of happened, it's pretty done for that one. But we'll see if he can bounce back on this one.
Yeah, Kerry now finally able to put UNC up in the lead for once this match. And Jason maybe looking to shake off some of those nerves. He followed up a 963 with a 1323. So not quite the best performance, but looking to get some going in solve number 4. Cross looks to be solved correctly, going into peel around 4 seconds, but some mishaps in execution give him a 762.
Yeah, Saul was looking really clean, executed that lefty OLL perfectly, and then tried to do the T-perm plus U2 finger trick, got locked up on that FL transition, and then probably cost him around a second or so.
Yeah, so a really fantastic solve from Jason. Looks like he was able to shake off some of those nerves, maybe from those not quite as great solves. So 762 still a fantastic solve, going to be tough for Kerry to beat. A little slow getting started, it looks like. Super quick. A 662. So Kerry able to take solve number 4 by a second there.
Yeah, Kerry turned pretty good and clean throughout his F2L, and then again gets a really nice 6-move OLL U-perm combo for last layer there and executed it flawlessly, getting in that 6.6.
Yeah, I mean Kerry's has a fantastic average shaping up here. Trying to pull up some of the stats. Yeah, it looks like our number 1 average right now is held by Zeke from UW-Madison with a 7.04 average. So Kerry maybe not quite on pace to take control of that, but we'll see what the rest of this set holds in store for him. Kerry going into solve number 5 with yellow cross. Be an 880 for Kerry in solve number 5.
Yeah, just seems like a few too many rotations there, and then not as good of LO cases. Slight lockups on that fourth pair, and then lockups on that OLL into V perm. So unfortunate to see from him.
Yeah, Kerry up on Jason 3-1. Gonna be set point here. So UNC looking to take their first set. We'll see if Jason's able to best Kerry with his 880 here. Going into PLL around 6 seconds. 790. So he's able to do it, keep this set alive, but by 9/10 of a second here.
Yeah, it looked a little dicey going into that last layer. Had a bit of a lockup on his fourth pair into dot OLL, but got through it fine. Got through those lockups, and then really clean A-perm execution secured it for him there.
Yeah, so Jason keeping Texas in this set. Not that they really need it, but I mean, for what it's worth, it probably means a lot to sweep UNC here, number 4 seed. They got that first round bye in Texas, really showing off. They're going to be facing off against some of those juggernauts like UW-Madison and UC Berkeley here, so they definitely want to put on a show. Maybe some execution errors, but 764 nonetheless, so still a fantastic solve for Jason.
Yeah, good first pair and good follow-up for Jason here. Got some really nice last layer cases here. Imsoon, U-perm. A little bit locky through it, but with good cases like that, you can kind of get away with it a little bit, still getting in that 7.6.
So Kerry looking to take this set by solving faster than a 764. Definitely possible for Kerry, but going to be tough nonetheless. Looks to be a good solve off the bat. Oh, and it's going to be close. 778. Wow. So Jason able to keep Texas in the set, tie the set up 3-3 by just under a tenth of a second here.
Yeah, and it could have been any one of those slight pauses and carry solves or any of those tiny lockups that could have cost him that solve. But, put on a show for us, man. We're tied 3-3.
Yeah, and UNC looking to put a setup on the board, finally not walk away from this match empty-handed. And Texas looking to put on a show for the top now 3 seeds who they are looking to face off against moving forward. We'll see if we can take a look at Kerry solve through this slideshow here. Kerry looks like he's going in with white cross. Looks to be a pretty decent solve right off the bat. It's going to be a 769 for Kerry.
Yeah, pretty solid all the way through for Kerry here. I mean, good enough solve to put some pressure on Jason. No real mistakes here, so going to see if Jason can respond with that same type of composure.
Yeah, and like you were saying, this is going to be a toss-up here. It's definitely not clinching this set, but leaves some room open for Jason here. So we'll see. Taken for this final set, Jason getting things kicked off on white cross here. Going into PLL around 7 seconds. And it looks like he knew it was maybe lost. 9:39 for Jason. So Kerry able to keep UNC up on the board. They take that final set 4-3 on Jason all the way down to the wire to that final solve.
Yeah, great show from both of our competitors here. Shouts out to Kerry for taking that set for UNC. Happy for my boys, Texas. But great show. Glad to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take one last quick look at this set. I mean, we were talking about Kerry maybe putting some numbers up for the individual rankings here. The top spot firmly held by Zeke from UW-Madison with that 704. But Kerry's able to slide in there. Definitely in the, actually, he's going to be number 6, it looks like, just behind Ethan Jan with a 759 average, and just above Calix with that 775. So he's breaking into UC Berkeley's sort of dominance of that top echelon of solvers in CCC. But, unfortunately, UNC has been knocked out by Texas. So Texas upsetting number 4 UNC here and moving on to the next round of the competition. We'll take one quick look at our bracket before we move on. So UT Austin looking to face off the juggernaut UW-Madison. So gonna be a tough road for UT Austin moving ahead into the semifinals. And you can see UC Berkeley besting number 7 UCLA there on the right side of your screen. And later tonight, actually, pretty much immediately after this, we're going to have number 3 Ohio State taking on the number 6 team Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they've been a little bit waffly, I think, having some trouble seeing that consistently good solving, but they're a fantastic team nonetheless. OSU, they have great solvers. There's a reason they're ranked number 3. So going to be an exciting matchup at 9 p.m. So in 15 minutes, we'll see if we can get that set up in 15 minutes. But we'll get that out to you guys as soon as we can. And once again, thank you so much, Dylan Miller, for coming on. It was an absolute blast to have you on. You have any final departing remarks?
Yeah, man, I love what y'all got going on here, dude. Super, super cool. Shout out to both teams. Really great performance from both of y'all. And besides that, hook 'em.
Yeah, so maybe those good vibes from Dylan making a difference here in this matchup, and Texas able to best number 4 UNC. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. We hope to see you on maybe 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. We'll get it out to you guys as soon as we can. But for now, this is Martin signing off.